The Kylo Ren and Rey connection is fascinating to me. I've done many videos about this Reylo thing and why I am so into it. However, there's a dark side to this whole thing, literally. In this video, I'm going to talk about the possibility that Kylo Ren is lying to and manipulating Rey. It might even be more than a possibility. It might be reality. Let's talk about it. Guys, today's video is sponsored by Amino. You've probably heard of Amino. Amino is an app that powers over 1 million different communities of fandoms in the world. This includes, of course, Star Wars. Amino is the official sponsor of Star Wars Sundays here on the channel, and I actually did an exclusive video for the Amino app, which you can only get if you go onto Amino and then check it out. It'll be a featured post on there. It's really cool and easy for you to find. The app itself has a ton of really cool features, including public forums, featured posts, quizzes, fan art, and all sorts of cool stuff like that. I am on the Amino app as Josh Lucas. Make sure you check that out. Follow me and get the exclusive Den of Nerds content, which will be up on Amino. All right, everyone, let's get into this. Is it possible that Kylo Ren is manipulating Rey? Well, as much as it might break our hearts, I do think it's possible, and I'm gonna tell you why. All of this goes back to The Force Awakens. Kylo abducts Rey and takes her to his quarters. I think even then he may have felt his connection to her and her connection to the Force. After all, he does feel the Force Awakens. Snoke asks him, "Have you felt it?" And he says, yes. In that famous interrogation scene, he removes his helmet, which he never does. This in and of itself is manipulation. He wants to throw her off, and he wants to humanize himself in her view. Even the way he talks is meant to lure her into a sense of security. He says, "I can take whatever I want, you know that. So let's do this the easy way." This is all meant to give her a different view of him. He desires her in some capacity. Now, if we fast forward to the fight in the forest at the end of The Force Awakens, at this point, Kylo knows about her power, and he doesn't want to destroy her. He wants to turn her. This is definitely explicitly spelled out in the novelization. It says he could have struck her down at any moment, but he doesn't choose to. He wants to turn her. This is classic Sith manipulation. Now, it did backfire in the Force because he just sits there, allows her to tap into the Force, not realizing how strong she is, and then he gets his ass kicked. But the reason that he did not strike her down, and he was saying the things that he said, saying that she needs a teacher and that he can show her the Force, is because he desired her to join him even back then. Now, in The Last Jedi, the scenes between Kylo Ren and Rey is like super prevalent. Reylo is all over that thing. And you have to ask yourself, what was the first thing that Kylo Ren did when they enter each other's minds? Well, he tries to Jedi mind trick her, telling her that she will bring Luke Skywalker to him. At this point, I think Kylo's done messing around. He's going to show his full power, and he's going to try to manipulate this girl into bringing Skywalker to him. Throughout their scenes, when they are connected, Kylo continues to try to manipulate her in a number of different ways. He plays off of her weaknesses, taunting her that she cannot let go of her parents. She can't stop needing them. It is her greatest weakness, he says. He uses his physicality to try to bring her guard down. I mean, he's shirtless in that one scene. The way he uses his lips and his eyes to sort of show a submissiveness, show his weak side, all of that potentially could be manipulation. He also puts doubt into her mind about Luke and establishes their shared moments as a reprieve from the cold reality she faces when she tried to get Master Luke to teach her the ways of the Force. Ultimately, this all leads to the hand-touching moment in which they see each other's memories and they sort of enter each other's beings. Kylo, once again, uses what he sees along with the weakness he knows Rey has to try to turn her once again. This manifests itself when she is in the elevator with him and he says, "I know when the time comes, you'll stand with me. I saw who your parents are." He just lets that sort of linger in the air, meaning, hey, you better not let me die or you'll never know who your parents are. That is clear-cut manipulation. In the end, I think Kylo is definitely manipulating Rey in the way that the Sith always do. Now, I know Kylo is not a Sith, but because he gives into the dark side, I believe he is trying to use dark side tricks to turn Rey. However, even with all of that said, I do believe that he actually cares about her. It's sort of this weird thing because I think it's just his nature and how he has dealt with people in the past to sort of use manipulation and use the dark side to get what he wants. I actually do believe that Kylo could turn Rey to the dark side, and in the bonus video, which I am putting up exclusively on the Amino app, I am going to talk all about what Kylo Ren could actually do to turn Rey to the dark side. Make sure to go check that out on Amino. Now, I liken a lot of the feelings that Kylo has towards Rey as very similar to the way that Vader viewed Padme and Luke. Now, what I mean by this is originally Anakin actually told Padme that they would rule together, that they could literally do whatever they wanted. You see, he didn't want to lose his wife or his children. He did want them to be by his side, but they had to fit into the dark vision that he had for the Empire and for himself. He does the same thing with Luke, telling him that they would rule the galaxy as father and son. He knew that Luke could destroy the Emperor. He wanted to be rid of the Emperor, and even though he was manipulating Luke and trying to use the dark side to turn him, he did care about his son. The only reason that Vader ends up turning at the end of Return of the Jedi is because he does indeed have feelings for his son. He cares about people, and in the sick, twisted way the dark side people do, I think Kylo does care about Rey, but that does not mean that he is not manipulating her. Now, whether or not he was completely lying to her, being directly mischievous and presenting himself as vulnerable even though he is not, whether or not he's actually doing all of that intentionally is yet to be determined. Rian Johnson famously said that when Kylo says that Rey's parents are nobody and that she is nobody but not to him, that he believes it. But that's just Ryan's opinion. It doesn't really necessarily matter what he says. Now JJ has the reins, and he could make it a twist in which Kylo was lying about Rey's parents and doing so specifically to leave her in a weakened state to try to get her to join him. All of this is just speculation, but it needed to be said. I do think it is possible that Kylo Ren is completely manipulating Rey. Even though it breaks my heart to say, it is possible that all of those scenes in The Last Jedi were all Kylo putting on an act. He could have done everything that he did just to get her to turn. Obviously, I hope that is not the case. I actually love the Reylo connection, and I love the fact that they have true feelings for each other. I think that's going to fuel the drama for their inevitable fight in Episode 9, but I still had to make this video because it is a possibility. So let me know in the comment section, what do you think about this? Do you think it's possible Kylo is manipulating her? Do you think it's likely that Kylo was manipulating her? Or is Kylo literally that vulnerable and has true feelings for Rey? Let me know all of that and more in the comment section below. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and nerdy day, and I will see you in the next video.